name is Bill Diehl, an LCA member, yes. But I was also a, quote, just plain layman. As I recall, we were elected. And one of my passions in the LCA was the ministry of the laity in the world. And in the LCA, that was moving along quite well. And I hoped that it would continue in the new ELCA. So I was not the only one. There were several people involved in our movement, so to speak, who were on the NLC. So my concern was that the new church would continue to recognize that most of the people in the congregations have ministries, and their ministries are in and to the world. That's not to say that ministries don't occur in the congregation, because they certainly do. But my concern was to see that it carried out into the world. In the LCA, when we began, we started a movement called Laos, L-A-O-S, in ministry. And Laos is the Greek name for people, but kind of humorous when mail started coming in to the LCA office for us. The Laos address got delivered to the Southeast Asia desk, and that was took a while to get people to understand that it's a different kind of Laos that we were talking about.
I don't know if you know a good friend of mine, colleague Bob Seitz.
Yes.
Bob and I carpool together.
Yeah. Well, Bob Seitz is one who has been involved in seeing that this works out in the Division for Education. He's a very creative person, and he does some good things in carrying on the whole understanding of the role of the laity in the world.
Describe for me the Commission for a New Lutheran Church.
Describe it to you?
Yeah, what was it? For my audience that doesn't know.
Well, it was a commission consisting of 50 representatives of the LCA, the ALC, and the AELC. And the numbers on the commission were roughly equivalent to the population of each group. And we were there to see what things we had in common that would lead to a new Lutheran church.
Why have a new Lutheran church? Why do it in the first place?
Well, one of the things is it was sometimes difficult to explain to people in the Midwest that I was not from the American Lutheran Church, I was from the Lutheran Church of America. And people would say, well, what's the difference between them? Why do you have two of them? So on. And there were many areas in which we coincide in terms of our work, and certainly our understanding of the gospel. And so it seemed to make sense to combine our resources and become more effective as a larger evangelical Lutheran church.
I've heard people say the attitude in many cases among the laity was why not, rather than why.
Yes, I think that'd be so. Yeah.
What were some of the hurdles that you had to go over in terms of creating it sounds like a good idea on paper, but in reality, what were some of the challenges?
Well, I think perhaps Dr. Marshall will do a better job on some of those than I, but I would like to address more the issue of the ministry of the laity. And one of the things that we were concerned about was, where would a concern for this ministry of the people of God be placed in the new church? Would there be a new department of the laity, or would it be housed in the division for ministry? I happen to be one that would hope that it got in a division for ministry, because the new Constitution had some very good language when it talked about ministry, and it talked about the ministry of the whole people of God. And I hope that it would be in the division for ministry, because it seemed to me that it would help people understand that in ministry in this church, there are ordained ministers and there are non-ordained ministers. And that being in the same department or division, hopefully it would be beneficial for our understanding of the ministry of the whole people of God. Now there have been some rough things. Nothing happened smoothly, but I still think it was the right thing to do. We were given some advice. One of the great Mark Gibbs, this won't mean anything to you at all, but someone who was influential in helping this new movement get going, an English Anglican, advocated have your own department. They'll swallow you up in that new division. And we considered that, and some of us thought that's the way to go, but we went the other way, and I still think it was the right way to go.
Wasn't the fact that, as you say, you kind of were concerned about the concept of ministry in daily life and ministry as it relates to lay people, that was sort of the burden that was on your heart. There was 70 people in the CNLC, and many with their own sort of agendas. Isn't that one of the challenges that the whole CNLC had?
Well, except when you got to theology, when we talked about how we defined a ministry in the preamble of the church constitution, and we described the division for ministry as constitutional requirement. The theologians were the ones who really carried the ball. I mean, they said, "Yeah, this is what it's all about in terms of ministry." So we didn't have to climb over any hurdles there.
Do you have specific memories from that period, working to put together a new Lutheran church that really kind of stand out in your mind?
Not one. Again, I would say that the most supporting thing was when some of our theologians and person like Bob Marshall spoke in support of this whole understanding of the people of our congregations are called into ministry, and their ministry is in and to the world. And that kept coming up, and it was a wonderful affirmation of what we were trying to do. So they were the people who carried had the greatest respect and carried the load, and to have them agreeing, well, why wouldn't they? It's right. So those memories were good about the times that one of them would get up to speak.
Great. Is there anything you'd like to add about that whole experience?
Well, I think it keeps showing up. Our present bishop made several editorials he had in the Lutheran were very supportive of the whole idea of all the people being in ministry. I haven't met him face to face, but the things he's been writing are very good as far as I'm concerned on this particular issue. So I'm happy it's turned out. I know Bob Marshall has some second thoughts about it, but from the somewhat limited viewpoint that I was coming from, I'm happy it turned out the way it did.